Greetings, everybody, from La Hacienda, home of the Spanish Fork Dons. Tonight, the Dons of Spanish Fork taking on the Salem Hills Skyhawks. I'm Alan Huff, along with John Henstra tonight. The Dons and the Skyhawks, not the two teams sitting atop exactly the Region 7 standings right now, but two teams with a lot to prove tonight.
Yeah, I mean, even though they're not at the top of the standings, I think they can each kind of put a stamp on where they are and say, hey, we own this spot. We may be towards the bottom, but we're going to win in that bottom spot. It's kind of hard when you open up, especially for Spanish Fork here, opening up their region play 0-3. So I think they're definitely going to want to fight for a win here and kind of take any opportunity they get to stomp out the hopes of Salem Hills over here.
They got a big order in front of them when it comes to taking on a certain individual, and that individual, Chase DeGraff and Reed, averaging just over 27 a game. Certainly a problem for the Dons, just going to have to keep him in check.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you get a player who's averaging those kind of numbers, you definitely can't leave them alone on the court for 1 second. If they get an inch, they're going to take it a mile.
Let's take a look as we get closer to the national anthem. Let's take a quick look at our sponsors for tonight's game, and we'll kind of run through those a little bit. We have Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, 2 Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and MVP Sports. We'll discuss them as this game goes on, but in the meantime, we're going to pause for the national anthem.
Home of the Spanish Fork Dons for tonight's contest versus the Salem Hills Skyhawks. Please rise and remove your hats for our national anthem, performed tonight by the Spanish Fork High School Pep Band.
Okay, as we prepare for tonight's starting lineups, let's take a quick look at tonight's keys of the game. John, what do you have for us?
Well, Spanish Fork, it's going to be pretty cut and dry for them. Obviously, they need to take high percentage shots. That's kind of a given, but they can't be taking 15-foot baseline jumpers. That's not going to help them any at all. They just need to be careful about where they're shooting from, and they need to generate those high percentage shots by quick passing and reading the floor with a high IQ. On top of that, they need to limit turnovers. They've been struggling with that a little bit this season, so that's another thing, just making the high IQ passes and playing at a good, healthy pace. And then lastly, they need to own the boards, especially against this Salem Hills team who kind of has the height to make any team pay who's not aggressive on the boards.
As we get set for Spanish Fork starting lineup, Salem Hills in the meantime has been announced. Aaron Habel along with Kason Everett, Chase DeGraff and Reed along with Kobe Dykes and Ethan Hopkins will start for the Salem Hills Skyhawks. I'm overcoming a little bit of a residual holiday illness, so if here and there you hear a cough also. I'll go ahead and apologize for that. Now as the Dons get set to be introduced on the floor. Again, we mentioned the Dons had a pretty decent start to start the entire season. They really fell off the month of December now into January. And it is time for Spanish Fork really to buckle down and find out who they are as we're now 3 games going into our 4th game of region play. So coming up for Spanish Fork next week, and for Spanish Fork 17 viewers for that matter, next week the Spanish Fork Dons, a week from tonight as a matter of fact, on the 19th, will be taking on the Wasatch Wasps, and we invite you to join us for our next broadcast. Again, that'll be Friday, January 19th, the early game. The girls at 5:15. The boys' game begins at 7. So we encourage you to tune in there, and we thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, you can watch these broadcasts on youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. But on top of that, you can also go on SFCN.org, the Spanish Fork Community Network website, and there is a live link that you can click and watch whatever is on Spanish Fork 17 right now. So a couple of links there you can always reach to watch any game, any event you like here on Spanish Fork 17.
Well, look at Salem Hills here. They almost look like they copied and pasted each one of their players. Everyone's built like a, a 6'1", 6'2" linebacker.
Yeah, they are. And the one that you really got to watch out for is the one jumping it up right there, Chase DeGraff and Reed, wearing number 4. Again, he's averaging a ton of game. He's the key player for Salem Hills. But there's several guys out there on the floor you got to worry about right there. Kaysen Averett proves it.
Yeah, that's just a smart play by Kaysen. He saw that they were playing a little high on him, so he took that quick first step and made him pay at the basket.
The Dons quickly go to Aaron Dunn underneath, not surprising. Outside Weeks takes an early step, will travel. Turnover, Salem Hills ball.
Well, sometimes you got to go backwards to go forward, but unfortunately in this sport, that's just a no can do.
Starting for the Dons, of course, Aaron Dunn, Gage Christensen, Landon Leatherwood, Austin Weeks. And I am missing one more out there. Oh, that is number 22, Ethan Beckstead. So those are your starting 5 for Spanish Fork. With the ball, Salem Hills, Colby Dykes, another tough offensive player for Salem Hills. You got to keep an eye on as DeGraff and Reed, easy spin move as Salem Hills quickly up 4-0. On the base, Dunn. No, rebound Salem. Aaron Habel with it, takes it across the timeline, gets it back out. 3 ball, good. Ethan Hopkins, Salem Hills, perfect to start this game. And a quick 7-0 lead. Taking the timeout, Garrett Johnson and the Spanish Fork Dons. And this will be a full timeout. This will give us a chance to talk about one of our important sponsors for tonight's game. First and foremost, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance. Located at 220 North Main Street in Spanish Fork. Number you can reach there, 801-798-9288. Lance offers auto insurance, home and property insurance, life insurance, along with health, banking products, annuities, and mutual funds. You can visit his website at lancewilsoninsurance.com. So again, thanks to all those sponsors. As mentioned, we'll get to each and every one of those as we go throughout this game. So, not a whole lot to say for Spanish Fork here early on, defensively and offensively. Hopefully, some quick adjustments were made there in that timeout.
Absolutely. When you're putting somebody in a spin cycle like that, that's kind of a move that happens a little bit further on in the quarter, where everyone's starting to get into a lull. You put them asleep a little bit, and all of a sudden, bam, they're in the spin cycle. You don't want to see that in the first 2 minutes.
No, absolutely not. So the Dons will inbound off of this timeout. We're 1:10 in. And Salem Hills with an early 7-0 advantage over the Dons. Up the floor for the Dons, Austin Weeks. Works it left side to Leatherwood. They work it back out to Weeks. Underneath, a nice layup there by Ethan Beckstead as the Dons on the board.
Well, if they get a stop here, we'll be able to say with confidence they figured out something in that timeout.
Three ball good. Another one by Hopkins. He's got 6. So Spanish Fork down 10-2 here early in the first. Aaron Dunn with the bucket and 1. He is the problem for Spanish Fork offensively. He's averaging 17 a game, and his numbers have only been improving as this season's gone forward. With that body size, it's not difficult to see why.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a true big man through and through. That move right there, it wasn't anything snazzy. It wasn't anything with too much pizzazz. He just went to his dominant hand and went up and drew the foul. Not much you can ask for more than that.
With his size, you would think he'd be one of those guys that can really do not much.
And get a lot from it.
Except under the basket. But that guy's got some range, and he's, people underestimate that from time to time. DeGraff and Reed.
Yeah, that's
Chase DeGraff and Reed.
Not the correct adjustment there. If you got a man out in the corner who you know can shoot, then go ahead and take that man. Don't point your teammate who's all the way at the top of the key to get down there and defend him.
Somebody's got to get there quick, because he will pop and shoot in a split second. Dunn out front. Takes a couple dribbles, goes in hard, and they are going to charge him with the charging foul. Nice job by Chase DeGraff and Reed getting position.
Yeah, I don't think he really had to sell that one at all. When you have a guy that big coming down on, you're not little, but definitely not comparable frame, then it doesn't take much to hit the floor.
Yeah, you get a guy 6'8",
Is that what, 6'8"?
6'8", upwards of 300 pounds, making moves at you.
Everyone looks smaller from up here.
Yeah, that's for sure. Foul again on Dunn, and that is 2 quick ones on Aaron. Not what the Dons want to see early on here, as Aaron Habel will go to the free throw line. Free throw good. Free throw number 2 on its way and good. Salem Hills nary a possession without success to this point. Scoring every time up the floor.
Yes.
Beckstead driving hard. Kicks it back out. Austin Weeks with that knee brace on the left corner. Looking underneath, they find Dunn. Ball knocked away, and here come the Skyhawks. So Salem Hills doing a good job early here, making adjustments on Dunn and his interior to exterior passing game, and gets a steal and another trip to the free throw line for Salem.
Yeah, if they don't come up with it on the field goal, they're going to come up with it at the free throw line. But every single trip down the court, they found a way to score this game.
And Hopkins, all he needs to do is hit 1 or 2, and they've done it again. So Salem Hills with a mighty start here on a Friday night.
It's going to be hard to see what the answer for Spanish Fork is when they're scoring like this early in the game. They just need to wake up a little, get their heads in this, kind of knock off the dust and get going, or this one's going to run away from them before it even starts.
Grant Hardy in for Aaron Habel for Salem Hills as both free throws drop there for Hopkins. He has 8 early for the Skyhawks. Leatherwood, left side, back out to Dunn. Don's trying to get the offense moving. Show a little patience and maybe get a shot to the rim. There's a good job there by Aaron Dunn. And he now has 5 points for Spanish.
Now that is a difficult drive to stop right there. Just great footwork by the big man.
Absolutely. Wow, DeGraff and Reed, no problem. He's got 7.
Well, he says, hey, I'm not a big man, but I can finish inside too.
And he did. 19-7. And we are just past the halfway mark here in the first quarter. Salem Hills on track for 38. Up top, Christensen backs it over, and a nice three by Ethan Beckstead. He's got 5. The two Dons on the board, both with 5 to this point. DeGraff and Reed up top. He's got Weeks on him. Spin move there, and the shot missed, but a foul. Grant Hardy will go to the line for 2 shots.
The Spanish Fork just cannot catch a break.
Well, at this point, and 4 quick fouls for Spanish Fork. That's way too many fouls early on. Now we do go quarter to quarter now with the new rules. Free throw missed by Hardy. So I think the next foul the Dons commit, that'll be the bonus, right?
That's right.
Hardy is second. No, and Salem Hills will make a trip down the floor without any success whatsoever. Other than, I guess, forcing the Dons to pick up another foul.
Yeah, that's not something you usually say 4 minutes into the first quarter. Oh, this is the first possession without scoring. Good look there.
DeGraff and Reed fights it out, and underneath Weeks takes it away. Shot up and good. Nice job by Weeks taking it away from Court Stewart. And he's on the board. The Dons chisel away here. They're only down 7. DeGraff and Reed spins. Got it.
Just another tough bucket, one after another keeps falling for him. You'd have to think at some point they're going to slow up a little, but Spanish Fork really, more than Salem Hills, just needs to find an answer on the defensive end.
Dunn with another bucket. He has 7.
Well, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's killing it.
The Dons are at least now matching Salem Hills shot for shot here. The Dons have picked it up offensively. Up top to DeGraff and Reed. Drives to the hoop. Puts it up, can't convert, but then gets a steal. Puts it up this time, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. So had what looked like an easy put-in / partial dunk. Let up on it. Doesn't convert, but still doesn't give up.
Well, sometimes the closer you get, the harder it is right there when you're flashy around the rim and try to elevate like that. I mean, obviously he's got the hops for it, but just wasn't able to put her away that time.
Free throw number 1, not a problem. He now has 10 in the first.
What a hot start.
Yeah, he's... Again, as I mentioned pre-game, he's the one you've got to worry the most about, and he's proving it to this point, now with 11 points. And...
well, he's just about halfway there to his average.
Yeah. So, Salem Hills getting their money's worth out of him early. 3 ball, no good. Rebound, Dunn puts it up. No conversion. Rebound. Salem Hills to DeGraff and Reed gets it out front to Hardy. Nice job and the move, but the bucket can't go for Dykes.
Well, he was streaking, just needed to take that one little delay step, kind of slow up his momentum to put that away a little bit easier, but as you can see, it didn't help Spanish Fork at all on the other end.
No, they get that turnover on the travel, and checking in now, Brock Jacobson for Spanish Fork. So, the new face out there for the Dons here in the first quarter, 23-14, Salem Hills. Long 3. Oh, and Dunn chose to let it go out of bounds, but there to get the rebound was Dykes, and now he goes to the line for 2.
Yeah, that's just a smart play. He got himself in a bad position under the basket, but then he saw a towering shadow coming from behind him, thought, oh, I'll just wait, it's coming. And just drew a clever foul there.
First free throw on the way, no. So Salem Hills kind of hit a cold streak from the charity stripe. Last 3 free throws. Well, I guess in the middle of that, DeGraff and Reed knocked down a couple. There's another one. So now 24-14 lead for Salem Hills.
Well, the way this game's been going, it really seems like Salem Hills should have more of a lead than that. It seems like it's been all Salem Hills, but Spanish Fork is just finding a way to hang in there.
Yeah, they've been making good on a lot of offensive opportunities and get a little bit of pressure. You can move the ball around, find some open shots. There's one. 3-ball. Did they say it hit? Hit the shot clock, and that gives the ball back to Salem Hills, so a bad break for the Dons.
Well, I didn't see that. Maybe my angle's not the best here, but it's interesting that instead of the baseline ref calling that, it was the ref over by half court.
Yeah, I noticed a little bit of a trajectory change as it got up there, so it was pretty good call there. Ball gets away. Salem Hills maintains possession. The Graffenried corner right. Works it back up top. Hardy. And the pass high for the Graffenried, and the Dons take it away. 36 on the clock, so the Dons have a little time between shot and game. 3-ball. Good. Bucket dump. Ryan Olson on the board.
Well, they're going to need a lot more than that came from as the shot clock goes off here. Game clock, excuse me.
And you can bet that Salem Hills will be the ones to take the last one here, is close to it. Spanish Fork has changed up a little their offensive or defensive scheme. They've gone man and put Olson on to Graffenried, who's been trying to find lanes, but Olson's been denying him a little bit, and then a turnover back to the Dons.
Well, when you have the shot in the corner, maybe at that point you go ahead and take it if they give you the wide open one rather than play it down to the very last second of the quarter.
So we got 4 seconds left here in the first. Spanish Fork is chiseled into what looked to be an absolute blowout early on. A 3-ball, no good there by Jacobson, but a nice effort nonetheless. That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. To score the Salem Hills Skyhawks 24, the Spanish Fork Dons 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Back for the second quarter of play, the Spanish Fork Dons trailing the Salem Hills Skyhawks 24-17. John, that first quarter looked really ugly for Spanish Fork early on. You saw Ethan Hopkins go off along with Chase DeGraffenried, but towards the end of that first quarter, you could see the Dons starting to settle a little bit.
Absolutely. Spanish Fork just seemed to kind of find their rhythm a little bit more on the offensive side. They went to what worked. And then more so than that, they just found a way to get a couple stops on the defensive end. I mean, for them to go the first, what was it, 4.5 minutes without getting a single stop down on the defensive side, obviously that's not going to leave you with a lot of options. But now that they're doing that, this game might level out a little bit.
Well, trajectory is aimed Spanish Fork's way for a little bit of a comeback here, so let's see if they can keep that momentum going in, or if Salem Hills is going to throw a couple of different looks at Spanish Fork here in the second. Outside, they look in to Dunn. Dunn around the free throw line, takes a couple left-hand dribbles, goes underneath, a shot up good by Brock Jacobson, his first bucket of the game, and the Dons to within 5.
Can he finish? Yes. Can he pass? Yes, too.
Yeah, he can do it all. Forget about him being a football player. Why are they looking at him at basketball in colleges? 3-ball, no. I think Dunn has probably a better future with football, right?
Yeah, probably. But, still doesn't hurt to be a multi-sport athlete.
No.
That way, if one sport doesn't love you, then you always got to fall back.
That's right. Ethan Beckstead with a bucket. So the Dons making a move.
Nice little run.
3-point lead for the Skyhawks. Work it up top. It's almost like Salem, in a weird way, has gone a little bit stagnant. 3-ball on its way in the bucket. Good there by Grant
You
Hardy.
jinxed it. As soon as you say something, they heard you up in the announcer booth.
It always
he said
does.
stagnant?
It always works that way. And then a charging foul by Jacobson going to the hoop. So a 3-ball and then this. Salem Hills now looking to put a little distance between themselves and the Dons. Interesting. This is the final regular season here in La Hacienda as we currently know it. Spanish Fork High School before the big move next year.
Now, have you been inside the new stadium?
I haven't yet, and I'm hoping to get an opportunity to get in there and take a look at it here pretty soon.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be hard to match the energy in here. They've been in here a long, long time, and this is the place that they know and love. I almost picked that one off there.
Bucket good there by Hopkins. He has 10.
It's interesting, this 1-2-2 trap that Spanish Fork's sitting in obviously hasn't been paying off for them, I think, as much as they'd like to.
No, it has not. Look there, but shot not taken by Olsen. They go back inside to Dunn. Double teamed. Open guy in the corner. They leave him alone. Free throw line shot no good there by Christensen. Has it back. Looks to Dunn. Angle left.
Well, they're going to double and triple team him, do whatever they have to do.
Foul against Salem Hills will send Ryan Olsen to the free throw line for a couple.
Oh, I was just about surprised at that call. Then I realized that they weren't calling all ball. It was the foul from behind, just a little nudge there.
Yeah, that foul will be charged to Stewart, and that'll be his first. Shot up good. A paired drop for Olsen. There's 5 on the game. The Dons back within 6. Right side to underneath. Ball gets away and thrown 5 rows up. Back to the Dons.
That was definitely a surprising turnover. He thought that he got fouled, but I mean, there's not much you can say to kind of turn around everyone's opinion on that kind of shot. Great baseline drive.
Yeah, nice drive by Dunn. He has 9, and quickly Spanish Fork back within 4. And another great job defensively by Spanish Fork and trying to inbound it, or trying to save it. Ryan Olsen gives it right back to Salem Hills. Working it inside to Graffney, being guarded closely in the pass.
That was
Olsen.
intentional. That was intentional.
That was a pass right back to another teammate via a defender.
Drew it up just like that, Coach, right?
That's right. Well, now the Dons again have a chance to knock this down to a 1-possession game. Mansfield, number 11, has just checked into the ball game. He's down in the bottom left. Dunn, stolen by DeGraff and Reed. He's got a lot of open space in front of him, lays it up and got it.
Well, I wouldn't say that was much of a steal. He just said, hey, if you're going to toss the ball to me, I might as well just grab it.
Thanks for the gift. Olsen back out. 3-ball on its way and good. Nice shot by Gage Christensen. His first bucket of the game, and the Dons 2 within a possession at 3.
Yeah, I did not have this in the cards after that searing hot start for Salem Hills, but here we are.
3-ball on its way. Long rebound. Dons. And here they come. Landon Leatherwood to the ball, front court. Once again to Dunn underneath. Back out, Leatherwood, 3-ball, no, little long rebound, back to Dunn. He tries to go hard, spin move, fall away, dumped it. 11 for Aaron Dunn. 1-point game.
That's an incredibly difficult shot.
And we have, it appears to be a timeout taken by the Salem Hills Skyhawks.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't take that timeout earlier with all the momentum going towards Spanish Fork.
It's a 30-second timeout. So that being said, let's take a look again and announce all of these fine sponsors once again that we have for tonight's game. Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, 2 Jack's Pizza, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Again, if we look at the region standings, if we get those up there really quickly, you look at the top 2 teams and pretty much the order that I personally would have predicted, with Orem and Timpview up top. Springville having a little bit of a down year off their last couple of successful seasons, but still right there. But then you've got everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, if Salem Hills takes it tonight, it could be just another few days before all of a sudden they're up in the 3rd, 4th spot.
Yep.
I mean, it's just that close in the region right now.
Yeah. Do we have the current RPI as well? I don't know if we have those. Oh, we do. Yeah, I see where those currently stand, and the Dons have a lot of space to make up. But plenty of time in the season to do it. Tonight would be a nice signature win to get yourself moving in the positive direction in region play.
Absolutely.
Salem Hills with it. 3 ball on its way. Rattles away. Hardy can't convert. The Dons have it with Olson bringing it up the court.
Well, I'll tell you, if they take the lead here, this crowd's going to absolutely love that, as they have their student section just filled to max capacity.
Yeah, student sections on both sides are pretty well supported. Outside 3 on its way. Good. The bucket by Colby Dykes. He's a number 2 scorer traditionally for Salem Hills. Now has 4. And Salem Hills with a 34-30 lead over the Dons. Dunn out front. One hard dribble with the right hand. Puts it up. Can't convert. Rebound. Back to the Dons. Olson. Open 3. Pulls the trigger. No. Rebound. Dunn. And he puts it up and scores. Aaron Dunn with 13 points.
And that is not the first time that a offensive rebound has led them to, a second chance score.
It certainly did there. 3 ball on its way by DeGraff and Reed. Or excuse me, that one by Dykes. So 2 quick 3s by Dykes.
Well, Salem Hills needs to take care of the glass, but just as importantly, Spanish Fork needs to close out on some of those 3s.
Yeah, they're allowing quite a few open outside shots. Salem Hills has been taking advantage of that with another corner 3. This time no good. And that was attempted by Case and Averett. Leatherwood out front.
I've been pretty impressed by Dunn's conditioning here, because most big men at this point in the game, and just as I say this, he comes out, but most big men, even, a few minutes into the first quarter, they're gassed and they need to get out. They're saying, Coach, get me out of this game, but he's just shown impressive resilience, and as long as he's been in the game, Spanish Fork has held their own.
Well, they've got him in such a conditioning program as the football program kind of took him under his wing and said, listen, let's get you going here, bud. You're athletic, you can move, let's make something of this, and he's done a great job. 3 ball again by Gage Christensen. It's his second 3 of the quarter, and the Dons are going shot for shot here with Salem Hills.
Yeah, it's just a battle of perimeter shooting right now.
DeGraff and Reed angle left, only has a 2-point bucket so far in the second. Went off for 11 in the first. 3 ball on its way, rattles away, and no good. Spanish with it. Across the midcourt line. Dons looking to take a lead here as we're down to 31. 4 seconds between shot and game. Leatherwood to Olson out front. Olson back to Leatherwood. 10 on the shot. Down to 5. Olson back. Christensen drained it. Gage Christensen with 9. All here in the quarter on all 3s. DeGraff and Reed lets loose. Can't convert. And guess who goes to the locker room with a halftime lead. The team who hadn't had a lead all half.
I'll tell you what, they set that play up perfectly. Coming through that elevator screen, there was nobody in front of him, and he turned around, planted on that right foot, spun around, just had a wide open look there. So just a well set up play by Spanish Fork to go into the half.
Dons will be going into the third with the momentum. We're going to take a quick break here on Spanish Fork 17. We should have, I would believe, the Los Cholitas drill team should probably have a routine. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll be right back.
Surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
We're going to have a little contest.
Again, the Dons have a 38-37 lead, John, and you look at, it's a tale of two quarters. I mean, Salem with that big lead at 24. Well, it wasn't as huge as we might have thought, but they had 24 points in that first quarter, followed it up with only 13 in the second quarter, where the Dons went from 17 to 38 to 21. The Dons looked a lot better in that second quarter and way more aggressive.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really something as simple as that. You take a look at a team who goes possession after possession after possession, and they can't find a way to come up with a stop. And who would have thought? You stop them from scoring, you go on a little run, all of a sudden the game's as close as it is. But I really just think a lot of this comes out to Spanish Fork finding a way to first off, get a stop, and then secondly, make sure that Salem Hills doesn't really get many, if any. I mean, I'm sure they've had one or two, but second chance points, that's been huge for Spanish Fork. They've been extremely strong in the glass, which, if we remember, is one of the keys of the game. And so they just need to continue to stay strong on the glass. They need to continue staying in their rhythm, setting up their good offensive sets that they've been able to figure out. And who knows, they may have a chance. It's really anybody's game right now.
Let's go ahead and look again at those keys to the game if we can, and kind of get a review about what the Dons have done. Take and make high percentage shots.
I mean, it didn't really start out that way, that's for dang sure. But since then, those high percentage shots, sometimes they come from places on the floor where you wouldn't think a high percentage shot, would be considered. But as long as it's a wide open shot, hey, might as well take it.
Yeah.
I will tell you what, Dunn has found a way to make every shot around the rim a high percentage shot. Any difficult shot, he just finds a way to make it land. So a huge shout out to him for kind of creating a lot of those high percentage shots in ISO post-up situations. The second key is to limit turnovers. I don't think that's ever really been a huge issue for either team in this game, but as long as they can continue to just play with a good pace and limit turnovers, I think they'll be just fine there. And third, we just barely mentioned that, owning the boards. They've done an excellent job of staying on top of that. And, not only defensive boards, they haven't let Salem Hills get a lot of second chance opportunities, maybe one or two in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, it was almost, I want to say, two back-to-back possessions where they came up with the offensive board and were able to flip it around from baseline jumper or get fouled to, score a little off that.
I'm going to go through a couple of things, and we talk about, I'm looking at a whole different thing here, so I won't go that route. I'm looking at a baseball instead of a basketball schedule. But, coming up for Spanish Fork, you have some big games. You're going to take on a Wasatch team that teams don't really look forward to playing because they have been a problem to a lot of teams. They almost knocked off Ornament in view. But that being said, that's going to be a tough challenge for Spanish Fork a week from tonight here on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah, and especially if they, take the win tonight, then it will be a tough challenge either way. But I'm sure they'd absolutely love the momentum going into another home game here in La Hacienda. Did I say that right?
You did. You did. La Hacienda is the way we do pronounce it here. But, we again, you look at the RPI and what we just showed, and, here this early in region play, that really doesn't, shouldn't come into, it matters.
Oh,
A 3-9 record. I mean, and region play doesn't matter in any level except for to crown a champion.
Yeah, well, that's what it comes down to, really. I mean, before the region play, and they do use a weighted system. If you play an out-of-state opponent, then that's weighted less than an in-state opponent. You know, that you'd play. If you played out-of-state in a tournament in Vegas or what have you, then that's weighted less than in-state. And then the games that we're playing right now are weighted the heaviest towards this RPI.
Yeah, and a tough opponent coming up, as you see on the screen there. The next opponent for the Dons before they play Wasatch here at home will be the Cedar Valley Aviators, and that will be the 7 o'clock tip out in Eagle Mountain. So you see a couple of new teams there in Spanish Fork's region for the season. In Cedar Valley, even Maple Mountain and Orem are actually pretty new to the region scenery. So it'll be an exciting season just to see what these teams can do, and see them all as Utah Valley teams, except for Wasatch, of course. I'm sure it wasn't an unwelcome thing for Spanish Fork not have to travel to Vernal anymore.
Absolutely, yeah. When a lot of people moving into this fine state of Utah, I was going to say Cedar Valley. They're right over the mountain, and next, or are they in the next county over?
No, Cedar Valley's on the other side of the lake.
Oh no, I know that. I just didn't know if that was still is that Utah County or once you get into Saratoga Springs, Eagle Mountain. But
yeah.
I remember just a few years ago, you'd drive out there, and it seemed like there was maybe a 7-Eleven and a couple log cabins. There definitely wasn't much out there,
yeah.
But I mean the population of the state has grown drastically, and that's really nice for this team here because the standings or the region's a little more condensed, so they're not having to travel as much.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see how the scenery of the region changes, in particular as some of these new schools, old schools going into new schools. Just a simple change in scenery period over the next 3 years as Springville, Payson, and Spanish will be getting new facilities. So
Spanish Fork just grew so quickly, they kind of had to make a difficult decision. We either split into two schools in our one city like Provo did. They got 10th U and Provo High, or we go the other route and just expand our current high school. And they went with the latter.
Yeah, for the time being, you see it that way. I mean, of course, the interesting thing you think back at 2008, 2007, 2008. In the addition of Maple Mountain and Salem Hills High Schools that came in at the same time and basically tore Spanish Fork High School to pieces because they were drawing for both Salem and the East Bench.
Right.
And now that's not the case. It's just interesting to see how things have evolved over time over these last 16 years, and it's weird to think, man, Salem Hills and Maple Mountain High School have been open for 16 years?
Right, yeah. And that's nothing at all compared to this big timeline of Spanish Fork and Payson and Springville, schools like that, Provo. But, one thing I will, you know what? Sorry, I'm being corrected here. We're going to go ahead and jump to a break here.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back here on Spanish Fork 17. 38-37 lead for the Dons.
If you're looking for a workout, MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
We had one full timeout the entire first half, which only gave us a little bit of time to talk about one of our sponsors for tonight's game, and certainly want to thank each and every one of them. We talked first about Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance. That last ad you just saw was a great sponsor. Two Jack's Pizza, they're located at 30 North Main in Spanish Fork. 801-798-8601. Memorize that number. Memorize it. Learn it. They have a website also at twojackpizza.com. It's the best pizza you're going to find anywhere, I promise.
Yeah, I saw that commercial and I thought, dang, I want one of those. I know we had some before the game. They're cold, but probably still good. You know, some food is better cold than it is hot.
No, I jumped. First thing I did, I got here and I ran right to the van to enjoy some good old Two Jack's Pizza, and we certainly appreciate them being aboard with us here on Spanish Fork 17. So we encourage you to support them also. Halftime score of 38-37 Spanish Fork. Salem Hills will get possession as we begin half number 2.
Yeah, Salem Hills is going to definitely have to find a way to, keep the big man out of the paint.
One they're going to need to keep an eye on has the ball currently. Chase DeGraff and reach shot up, no rebound to the Dons. We have a whistle and a foul, and that will go against Salem. And they will charge it to Aaron Habel. That's his first. Not a lot of fouling in that first half for either team. The Dons started out with a bunch quick and then quickly leveled out in that second quarter. Dunn played, he had the first 2 fouls of the game, played almost the entire first half with just those 2 fouls.
Oh, that's a nice break for Spanish Fork. They're getting a good rebound and reset the shot clock.
Leatherwood looks to Dunn. They're in front. Back out Leatherwood. Dunn. Right side Weeks. Takes a couple of quick dribbles. Gets a defender there. Passes it off. And Leatherwood with a bucket. So Landon Leatherwood's first bucket of the game comes here in the third quarter, and the Dons expand their lead.
Yeah, it's a smart read to take that baseline reverse on the far side of the basket. He knew there were 2 defenders tailing him, and they just guarded the wrong side.
DeGraff and Reed with it right. Outside, 3 ball, no. Rebound, Spanish Fork, as Habel cannot convert. And the Dons with it. Dunn, 3, on its way, no. Rebound, Salem Hills up. The crowd would have went nuts. DeGraff and Reed, 3. No, can't convert Spanish. Weeks left side. Up to Dunn, Leatherwood. Spanish looking to have way more energy than what we've seen from them in the past, as Austin Weeks knocks down the bucket and the Dons with a 5-point edge.
Yeah, I think when you play a game in your own house, you get out of school a couple hours prior to the game, and it just kind of slows you down sitting around for a few hours. Meanwhile, Salem Hills, if they warm up in their own house, come over here, and everything just kind of keeps them fresh and lively.
Chase DeGraff and Reed knocks down the bucket. That'll be point number 15 for him.
Well, no surprise there, right?
No. But, again, if the Dons can just keep him in check. Dunn gets his own rebound, has to hurt him and get rid of it. Can't spend a lot of time under there. Salem Hills just seems to not be able.
He called the I thought he got rid of it before it came down. I thought he got rid of it
too, but no, the official doesn't see it that way, and the turnover gets it back to Salem Hills. But you can see the frustration as Salem has done. Just plays volleyball with himself to get his own rebounds.
Yeah, you're right. He was about to get that 3 count in the key, but he just bobbled. I mean, you're not really going to get that count if you're active with the ball into the basket.
Yeah, and then if you get the ball up, ball knocked out of bounds. Back to Salem Hills on this possession. We got 5:17 left here in the third. Just 1 foul to this point. 3 ball. Good.
And that's what Spanish Fork cannot let Salem do. That was the problem at the end of the first quarter, problem at the end of the half. They just, I guess midway through the second quarter, they cannot let them get those wide open 3 shots. So you got to figure out a way to communicate on defense to make sure somebody's covering every inch of the perimeter.
Without question, and here come the Skyhawks yet again, and they're going in unanswered for unanswered. Now have taken the lead back at 44-42. The Dons need to keep that momentum and intensity that they had coming into the third quarter and after the first couple of minutes. Seems like now they've gone a little stagnant, a little touch, and the ball out of bounds back to the Dons. Into the game for Salem Hills, Grant Hardy.
Well, he's a shifty little guy, ain't he?
He is. He's not a big fella.
But he ain't scared, that's for damn sure.
No, he's not. And I mean, I don't know that he gets up to any of the Spanish Fort players' chins. Wow. Salem Hills just gave Dunn. Yeah, Salem just gave Dunn a nice gift. And the game tied up again at 44. DeGraff and Reed spins, kicks back out. 3-ball, plant foot 3-ball attempt by Hopkins there. Attempted that 3 like it was a free throw. Leatherwood out top of Weeks. Ron's working the perimeter a little bit, trying to find that lane to get there and done. I mean, that's kind of the idea that Spanish Fort's kind of had. If nothing else, get that ball to Dunn and watch him double team him.
Yeah, and then see who
find
opens
the open
up.
guy.
Exactly.
And Dunn's got a trained eye to find him.
Yeah, well, he's got a trained eye, and he's also got an eye who can see a couple inches over everyone else's head.
Doesn't have much of an impaired vision.
Oh, that's a tough leg.
Nice play. Weeks.
Yeah, that's that double pump. You know, when you see that hand looming out in front of you, that's just a high IQ play to go ahead and make that.
3-ball good by Dykes. He's got 10. And Salem Hills and Spanish Fort blow for blow here in the third quarter. Dunn. Nice pass to Beckstead, who knocks it down. He has 9. Dunn's doing a good job spreading it out.
Absolutely, yeah. When you're bringing that much height to the floor, then you're definitely able to do that.
DeGraff and Reed short on the attempt. Here come the Dons.
I think everyone was surprised that the foul wasn't called there. Everyone just stopped play for a second. Sloppy turnover there.
Yeah, it was a turnover on an attempted pass. And Leatherwood in the ball. Well, a foul on the ball. Number 3, Gage Christensen will pick that one up. That's 2 for him. Timeout Salem Hills, and what do we have here? It will be a 30-second timeout. So not a lot we can do, but we're going to do it anyway because we got to get all our sponsors out of the way before this contest ends. Let's thank Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing at 1550 North Main Street in Spanish Fort. Phone number 801-798-7711. You can go to TripleTHeating.com. They are the expert in heating, air conditioning, and plumbing services in Utah County and also in Washington County. A lot of people up here have a second home down in St. George, so they would be the ones to call if you have any tune-up issues, problems, any of that stuff. Anything you need, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing can help you when it comes to all 3 of those categories. So, again, we thank them for being sponsored for tonight's game.
Yeah, I saw during the commercial break there, they do a 32-point inspection on your furnace. Did you know your furnace had I just thought it was a big old box with hot air in it, you know?
Yeah, I've seen them go in there with all the tools and everything else, and you watch them do their work, and you're like, this thing's a little smarter than I thought it was.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, everything's smarter nowadays. There's smart refrigerators, smart cars.
It's smarter than me, even. I can promise you that. The reason is I don't know how to work 90%.
Right.
I think the fridge I've got, worked. Salem Hills with it. Working around the perimeter. 3-ball. No. Rebound. Done. Without problem.
Whatever reason, they were just hitting everything in step in that first quarter from the perimeter, and now they've just been on an extreme drought. I mean, they've hit one here or there, but Salem Hills can't seem to finish from around the perimeter.
Where it stands, Salem Hills is not doing a whole lot to carve into Spanish Fort's lead. In fact, both teams have gone basically ice cold here toward the end of the third quarter. Each team with just 1 foul here in third. I expect things to change quite a bit going into fourth. as a foul committed and 2 shots coming for Aaron Dunn.
You've seen him a little bit more than me. How is he from the line this season?
He's been really good from the free throw line. I mean, again, you see those big guys and you think, man, I don't know if I want that guy at the free throw line when it matters.
Well, the game is evolving, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you want him. I mean, he's really improved as a shooter, free throw, everywhere. So, been good.
I was hoping not to jinx him there, but luckily he's
well, if you weren't going to, I would have because of what I said. So, could have blamed me. All you did was ask the question. I should have said no comment. Free throw number 2. No comment.
A lot of difference that made.
So there we go. 49-47 Dons. A 3-ball attempt, no good. Salem has gone ice cold here in the 3rd quarter. Spanish Fork hasn't been answering a whole lot themselves.
Yeah, one thing that'll happen when you go through a bit of a drought from the 3 like that is you'll start to take the shots a little bit closer in because you don't trust your range at that point. And when you're not trusting your range, you're coming into the area where you're going to get blocked a little bit more, and the defense is going to be a little bit tighter. That looks like a foul on the sideline there.
Leatherwood gives the Dons a 4-point lead.
All I'm saying is that's a double-edged sword if you keep missing from out there.
Absolutely. 3-ball dumped by DeGraff and Reed. Or no, excuse me, that was Dykes. So he's really lit it up now, has 13.
Now, is he leading all scorers here?
He is not. DeGraff and Reed has 15.
Oh, okay. And what about Dunn on Spanish Fork side?
Dunn has 16.
All right.
So there's your answer to that. Sneaky 16.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, maybe you would think. I don't know. He's played a pretty tough game here.
Nice job underneath by Hopkins. He's got 12. I mean, like I said, I mean, the scoring is just equal throughout. I mean, it's
absolutely.
Like,
how many lead changes have we had? It's got to be, close to 8, 9 now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is just classic rival basketball. I heard in the girls' game you guys talking about rivalries. I've got to make one little input there.
Okay, all right, yeah, let's hear it from...
Never, ever, ever forget Payson.
No, yeah, we didn't discount Payson. We just weren't sure who they match up against, Payson and the next closest, I guess, it's really Spanish Fork.
Yeah.
But they're in, are they both in the same division?
No.
Okay, well.
But, all that being said, Payson, whenever Payson and Spanish play, it can get ugly.
Oh, I bet it can.
Let's take a break, shall we? The Dons lead it going into the 4th, 55-52 on here on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Alan Huff and John Henstra here with you at La Hacienda, home of the Dons, the Spanish Fork, with a 3-point lead over the Salem Hills Skyhawks. And we talked a little bit about the spread out scoring. Now listen to this. Normally you see a game, you see a couple guys, maybe one, maybe 2 guys scoring double digits, standard high school ball. Salem now has 3 guys in double digits, all within 3 points of them with each other. DeGraff, Reed, Dykes, and Hopkins. The Dons have Dunn with 16, Beckstead right there with 9, and then Gage Christensen, the sneaky 11, as he's knocked down some 3-pointers. So, I mean, I expected to see a lower scoring game than we've seen here tonight. Foul. Beckstead will go to the line.
That was a late whistle. Looked like the ref was trying to get the whistle up into his mouth, but yeah, he definitely was fouled there as he hit the deck.
Yeah, sometimes that whistle can get away from you. 2 for Beckstead.
Well, that's a bad mess there off the back of the iron.
Yeah, clanked it, and he'll get one more.
He might want to try to bank this one in.
Can't get either one. Here come the Skyhawks to Graffenried. There's the left side with it. And I know they'll try to find de Graffenried. Some of the Dons have done a really good job. Olsen has been awesome defensively, and that can't go unsaid. Number 5 for the Dons, Ryan Olsen. He's been the one on defense against de Graffenried, really shutting down since he got into the game.
I mean, nobody has an easy job defensively as you talk about the score distribution, but yeah, Spanish Fork's definitely stepped it up ever since that first quarter.
Landon Leatherwood just carries on for Spanish Fork. 57-52, the Dons' largest lead. Tied for their largest lead, I should say, as they get the turnover, and here they go again. Foul. Christensen can't convert, and he is not feeling good underneath. Hopefully he'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, the coach definitely wasn't happy about that. He thinks that should be a flagrant technical, something of that order. But the honest truth was he was just running through trying to get a stop. And however, I do think he needs to sub out of the game if they take a timeout for an injury.
Foul's going to go
after
against
the free throw shots.
Foul's going to go against that big monster body, number 5, Grant Hardy for Salem Hills. He did. He came in and took him right out.
It's not like when you look at a guy like that, you don't think, yeah, he's taking someone's feet out from under him or anything. He doesn't have that much oomph to him, but you know, he's really just trying to get a hand on the ball there and ran through, and there's a little bit of contact, just a kind of a weird fall there.
Absolutely. And Christensen knocks down the first. No worse for the wear. He now has 12. You know, it can easily just simply be said. You get a guy up in the air, and you're as vulnerable as anything. So,
yeah.
2 free throws there for Christensen. The Dons stretch their lead over the Skyhawks, 59-52. Left-hand layup doesn't go. Rebound Spanish Fork again. Nice job, Christensen. Not the biggest guy, but probably the most active for Spanish Fork currently on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a lot.
Has it left side, drives it, looks underneath. They get it to Beckstead. Leatherwood 3, got it! Landon Leatherwood knocks it down, his first of the game. He has 8, now 11 for the Dons, and we've got a turnover. Flipped it back to Salem Hills. Salem gets a break, but can't convert. Rebound the Dons. So, 6 minutes left, and the Dons have the 10-point lead over Salem Hills.
Yeah, I would have not ever seen this in the cards with the kind of start that Salem Hills had, but Spanish Fork's been resilient, they've been gritty, and more than anything, they've just found a really good rhythm here and came up with a lot of excellent sets as they complete another one there with a nice little dump pass under the basket.
Timeout, Salem Hills. They need a 12-point Spanish Fork lead, 64-52, and the place is going nuts. It'll be a full timeout. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we will announce the MVP Sports MVP of the game. They're located at 82 East, 900 North, 801-798-3587. MVPSportsUtah.com is a website. So I'm going to bring this up again because we went into the quarter talking about scoring and how it's been spread out. Well, now the Dons have Leatherwood with double digits, Christensen in double digits, Beckstead now in double digits, Aaron Dunn, of course, in double digits, but not having scored here in the fourth quarter, which is a really good sign. And then you got Salem Hills, who hasn't scored in the fourth quarter, period.
Have they?
Not a bucket.
Really?
So the Dons now have really taken control of this contest, 64-52. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Salem's really got to figure this, get things picked up here if they're going to want a shot going down the stretch.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, if there's any time to make your move, it's right now, and they need to get back into what they do best, and that is start getting hot from the perimeter.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it doesn't happen all at once, but they need to find some answer for this drought they've had going on here.
Timeout is done. Needs to get that shoe tied up.
Double knot it, kid. Double knot it.
That's right. Got him situated. And Salem Hills to start the fourth.
Oh, that's a great thread.
Nice pass and nice bucket there by Aaron Habel, now with 6. So Salem Hills right out of the timeout, getting back into rhythm.
Salem Hills has stayed in man most of this game. And that's sometimes been a detriment, because when they get into the post high or low, an interesting call there. As they get into the post high or low, they know they're going to have to double him and leave a man open, whereas they could go into a 2-3 or a 1-2-2 and find a matchup in the post that doesn't leave a man open as much, where they're guarding their zones instead.
As you can see, that Salem Hills are starting to pick up a little bit on the Dons, on what the Dons like to do, get the ball to Dunn and let him run the point, but without even making a dribble. But he finds the alleys and the lanes to make the passes. He's been real good. 3 ball, no, rebound Dons, Leatherwood.
Well, usually that's in Salem Hills range, but tonight it just doesn't seem like they're getting anything from that far out.
Yeah, they have struggled from the perimeter, that's for sure, and the ball knocked away back to Spanish Fort. So again, I mean, you talk about the ebbs and flows of a basketball game at the high school level, and it seems to go by the way your team timeouts go. You know, you take that timeout, you gather yourself a little bit, and start to pick it up offensively. And Spanish Fort, to this point, haven't really been able to do much, except for now as Dunn knocks down the left-hander. And it's now 18 for Dunn and a timeout taken by Spanish, and I believe that'll just be a 30-second
Now that's
timeout.
interesting. See, you know, they obviously, Coach saw something out there that he didn't like, and he wanted to get corrected immediately.
Well, I might as well do it right there, right after you get a quick bucket. Hopefully that momentum doesn't get messed with, but we'll see how that works out. Again, you can always check out Spanish Fort 17 on what is on the air. If you go to sfcn.org, you can watch live Spanish Fort 17. Of course, YouTube is a place to go to access what's going on and watch recorded shows, etc., on Spanish Fort 17. Popular Goose in the Wild shows. You've got Studio Chatter. You got all these sporting events that are covered. Can all be found in the archives of Spanish Fort 17 on YouTube. Just check out youtube.com/Spanish Fort 17 as the streaming world now upon us. Right side to Graffenried, gets up top, goes left, 3 ball by Dykes on the way, and he got it.
Dykes is a welcome respite here for Salem Hills. He's found a way to chip a couple in despite the drought that they've been in.
5 3-pointers for him. And a 3 to answer, no good. And what do we got? A 3-shot foul coming up. Foul against Dykes. And that will send Christensen to the free throw line for all 3.
Oh, that might have been the latest whistle I've ever heard. You know, the play went on, and they kind of thought a new possession was starting. All of a sudden, that foul was called.
Yep. First one knocked down. 2 free throws for Christensen, or excuse me, 3 for Christensen. He now has 14 points, make it 15. Wow. Gage Christensen really has come out and had a huge game tonight.
Absolutely.
Not normally a huge offensive producer, but to be sitting there with 15, not too shabby. Making his case for the MVP Sports MVP of the game, right, John? In fact, that's the job John gets tonight, is to decide on who the Spanish Fort Dons MVP Sports MVP of the game is.
A job I do not take lightly, I assure you. MVP being such an awesome sponsor they are, they deserve to have the best MVP here on the court, fighting for their case.
8 for Hable. Don's in possession now, and a nice job by, looks like Beckstead got that one on the tip, and he has 13.
Elevated. He really got up there to get that tip back in.
I thought it was done. Underneath, McGrath and Reed blocked. Here come the Dons, Leatherwood.
On both sides of the court. What an incredible show of athleticism to get the finish on one side with the tip in and block on the other side.
Leatherwood out front. He's guarded closely by Hable. Gets it over to Olsen, who almost loses it. The Dons do, and there's a foul. The Dons are probably lucky they got that foul right there, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I didn't really see. They didn't have numbers on that fast break, and if they did have numbers, one of them was on the floor.
That's a good point.
I'm not sure it would have amounted to anything, but probably not a bad, after turnover to foul in the break.
Yeah. That is only one team foul for Spanish Fork in the fourth.
Yeah, if there's any chance here for Salem Hills, the fouls might tell a big story.
So here we go. Baseline. Working it around. A 3 ball on its way by Dykes. You got to be kidding me. He cannot. He's just draining everything. And it doesn't even have to look good.
That one off the glass. He said bank and then turned away.
Cross court 3. Christensen drains it. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that is almost the nail on the coffin right there. Right when Salem Hills thought we might have a little momentum going with a nice bank basket. He walks over and says, that ain't happening on my watch.
19 points for Gage Christensen. Can I just go ahead and declare it right now?
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, it was up in the air a little bit, but Christensen's just had an incredible showing tonight.
Well, I mean, it's not only that. It's not what he's doing. If you watch him just, he's knocking down all these shots, but he's all over the place.
Absolutely.
Defensively, he's been peeling off everywhere, knocking the ball away every chance he gets. He gets knocked to the floor and nearly putting a crippler, and then here he is just crippling Salem's hopes as we go forward in this contest.
Yeah, without a doubt. So we'll go ahead and hand him the crown, the MVP crown, and go ahead and instate him, for lack of a better term, as the MVP Sports MVP of the game. And remember, if you haven't heard, if you're just joining us, MVP Sports just opened up their new location. They're now at 82nd East and 900 North in Spanish Fork.
As we get set to get things rolling again with 2:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Still time for Salem. But, again, you don't want to take a whole lot of it up on each possession.
Absolutely. You need quick buckets, and that's the guy whose hand you want the ball to be in.
There it is. Hable knocks it down. He's now in double figures, and a steal. Salem can't convert as DeGraff, and Reed misses. And the Dons have it.
And they definitely think that was as we're hearing refs, you suck chants coming up from the crowd. But, honestly, the refs, no matter what call they're going to make, somebody's going to be upset. So that's just the name of the game. It could have been a foul on the baseline, who knows. But with this much at stake here this late in the game, I don't blame the fans one bit.
Dons running down the shot. Looking underneath, the ball knocked away. DeGraff and Reed was the last to touch it and goes back to the Dons. Things getting a little hotter here under the 2-minute mark.
I mean, it's still a 9-point game. That's 3 possessions. It could be 3 quick possessions, but
shot up, missed by Dunn. Rebound, Salem Hills. You got to get better shots than that. 3 ball, no rebound. Nice job by Spanish Fork to keep that thing in play, but a foul committed on this one will send Salem to the free throw line, and it looks like Kaysen Averett is going to get 2 shots. The Dons need to be careful here.
Yes, they definitely do, and Spanish Fork, one of their keys of the game was to be good on the glass, to clean up the glass every single time a shot goes up, and that's actually what's been hurting them a lot. In the last 2 possessions, Salem Hills has had a second chance, whether on a turnover or Salem Hills coming up with the rebound.
Yeah, they've kept the ball on this side of the floor an awful lot the last couple of possessions, so the Dons need to figure out a way to avoid that as the full court pressure mounting for Salem Hills. Across the timeline, there's Olson looking underneath. Beckstead can't convert, but he gets his own rebound, needs to get it out, and a foul committed. You got to get, you get those shots underneath, it's hard not to take them, but you got to remember, we got clock to burn here, fellas.
Absolutely.
35 seconds left, a minute 31, or 35 back on the shot clock, minute 31 on game.
Yeah, one more by Salem Hills, and that puts them in the bonus.
Christensen almost with an error there. Saves it, the Dons have it. Leatherwood out left side, driving, shot up good. Landon Leatherwood.
Well, he doesn't do a lot, but when he does, it's big, and he controls the flow of the game, and definitely a big lay there.
Beckstead can't convert again. I don't understand why the Dons are taking these shots so quick. But we have a jump ball, and the possession goes to the Dons, so getting away with it here. And the Dons will inbound underneath. There it is. Done! Bucket! 20 for Aaron.
Yeah, someone needs to turn around and face that defensively. You can't just put your butt to him and not expect him to come over your back.
Double dribble, nothing called. Now we got it.
There we go.
Yeah, those referees have been awful late on whistles tonight.
Yeah, you know, I think what it is there's one ref out here on the floor. I'm not going to name which one because we want to be as nice to our refs as possible for coming out and giving us an excellent matchup here. But one of them walks around without the whistle in his mouth, and every time he has to find it, collect it, and put it in there.
Well, you figure, I mean, at times, you know, you get your umpires, they'll take a break from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a good idea. And nonetheless, we got a full timeout on the floor. Let's again throw up every one of our sponsors. We'll mention each as we get near the end of this game. The Dons, man, it's getting to a point now where it's almost like Salem's in quite a bit of hot water here. Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, 2 Jack's Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and MVP Sports. We thank all of you for being on board with us tonight. And boy, what a great contest it's been, especially for Spanish Fort. Man, they've had such a difficult early season. The last game, they kept Springville to a pretty low score in the 50s, and Dons couldn't even chip their way out of the 40s. Now look at tonight. Holy cow, what a difference a few days can make.
Yeah, Salem Hills, they definitely opened up the can of worms. They, maybe came into this red hot and thought, oh, let's just sit back a little. We got a good lead, and let's see what happens. And Spanish Fork answered the call as they send in what looks like a little bit of their bench unit here.
Yeah, well, no, actually, they got their starters are out there right now, every one of them. Some guys that have spent a lot more time on the bench, but yeah, weeks in particular. But Olson, I mean, let's not, it's quite, as he turns it over there, now to Graffenried wide open. But offensively, a very, very slow night as far as point total for Ryan Olson with just 5. But what a job he has done tonight on Chase to Graffenried. And of course, Chase has to throw that one back in my face. Is right in the middle of me announcing that. But again, he really has done a really good job. Chase came out with 11 in the first quarter and then has had 2 in the next 3 quarters. So the Dons have been really good defensively at shutting him down.
Absolutely. He's just been, and that was a sloppy turnover there, but for the most part, you know what he does best. He's a guy who can create, and as long as you play up right in his face and don't give him any room at all, then there's not much you can create when the guy's just right there, a couple inches away. So it takes a lot of discipline too to be right there and not foul and be aggressive at the same time.
So they're down to the 9-point lead. We've got 44 ticks left. Now Salem is going to do everything possible here.
Oh, they're not going to go down easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the Dons are going to have to go the length of the floor here. Salem Hills will put the full court pressure on, and what do the Dons have to break it? We will see. They bring Dunn up. Finds
Yeah, that's the
Leatherwood,
right
and they
call
had
right
it
there.
spelled out perfectly.
Are they going to
And the
intentionally foul?
There it is. So the foul committed by Dykes.
Yeah, that's the right call there. Bringing the 6'8" guy, put him a couple feet away and put it up in the air, and then just trusting him to make the right pass from there on out and get it up the sideline quick. A great early play by the Dons.
Landon Leatherwood did the charity stripe for 2. Penalty situation, free throw drop by Leatherwood. Again, you know, we can say whatever we need to. He's got 14. I mean, the Dons have been really just exceptional on offense tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, they have. Everyone's put up a little, and when I said he doesn't do much, I was saying that in the fact that all of his points, you know, they look a little quiet. Like he'll you know, get one in there every now and then. It's not the big flashy stuff. It's not the hard buckets. He's just a good fundamental player.
Yeah, and he creates his own shots. He puts himself in positions to cause problems, and as the Dons inbound, the foul committed. So that'll send Leatherwood back to the free throw line. Yeah, he has the 1 3-pointer all night long, but most of his points otherwise have just been driving it to the hoop.
Absolutely.
And he's been really good at taking advantage of the flat-footed Salem Hills defense in some occasions.
Absolutely.
So 2 free throws for Leatherwood, who again now has 15, misses that one. Will get one more. 10 points here in the quarter. And listen to this. Every one of his points, all 16, have come in the second half.
Really?
Yep.
Well, he's a guy who definitely rose to the occasion as they almost bank one in there. They really ought to just let the clock run out now.
Yeah, now's the time. Beckstead gets it. 15 for him.
Yeah, coach is saying, hey, don't be upset. This game's about wraps here. There's nothing to yell about or whine about. It is what it is.
You know, we were talking about a great quarters, such a great quarter that Salem Hills had. Well, let's talk about this one. Spanish Fork has 29 points here in the quarter.
Compared to, well, in Salem Hills, because I know they went dry without scoring for quite a few minutes.
21. So anyways, nonetheless, we are looking at an 83-73 final for the Spanish Fort Dons, who I don't think a lot of people would have thought coming into this game, John, would have been going, hey, Spanish Fort's the team we got to look out for on this one.
Exactly, yeah, with the way it started, it's a slow start for the Dons, hot start for Salem Hills, but the final product reflects anything but.
Again, your final 83-73. Dons are the first region win of the year. Salem now drops to 1-4 right alongside Spanish Fort. We'll take a break and be right back with the recap just right after this.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Wow, what a game it had been tonight. The Spanish Fort Dons coming up with an 83-73 win over rival Salem Hills High School Skyhawks. And wow, I mean, you think about big games that the Dons have had traditionally, and I'll just tell you from what I've seen so far this year, John, Spanish Fort in the second half have struggled mightily. They have had a terrible time at adjusting at the half and doing the things necessary, you know, moving forward in the second half. And, of course, it's, 99%, player motivation, I would say, more than anything else. But that being said, the Dons came out in that second half tonight, and they just put the hurt on the Salem Hills Skyhawks.
Yeah, they came out with an excellent showing here. I think everything started right from the beginning of the second half. They went into the locker room, and a big shout out to, whatever the coach told him. It was obviously something pretty drastic to have them come out the way that they did. But they were a lot more active up and down the floor. I would say the biggest difference is they just found a really good rhythm. They were running sets that for a while there, they were going score for score with Salem Hills, and pretty soon Salem Hills, when they fell off, Spanish Fork was there and just hanging around and waiting to go ahead and capitalize on that.
Wow, I mean, I'm writing down the stats here as you're talking, and we of course we talked about tonight's MVP of the game, Gage Christensen. Again, thanks to MVP there. But listen to this. Landon Latherwood, as I mentioned, scored all 16 in the second half. Mm-hmm. Then Ethan Beckstead was just set steady throughout the game, finished with 15 points. 20 points for Aaron Dunn, as we expect basically from him.
Right.
But then you look at Salem, and it's the same kind of thing. Aaron Habel with 11, DeGraff and Reed with 17, Kobe Dykes with 19, Ethan Hopkins 12. You see these numbers, and man, you look at this is basically a game of 4 versus 4 in a lot of ways. And, boy, did the Dons just come out and just outplayed Salem Hills almost at every level.
Yeah, that's what it turned out to be in the end. They were outplayed, and it came down to a few things. I mean, one of them was the keys of the game, and that was to just be really aggressive on the glass. I don't think they ever let off on that aspect. Even, when Salem Hills was shooting, firing up some shots that really just weren't landing, throwing up brick after brick, Spanish Fork said, well, hey, even though you're missing, we're not ever going to let you get that second chance opportunity. Maybe 2 or 3 in the third quarter, and it seemed like probably less in the fourth quarter. So that was huge. And then I'd say just the other thing is they figured out personnel-wise who they really need to guard, who they really need to get a hand in their face. And Salem Hills, when you take a couple key players out of the game, they don't really have the depth to have an answer outside of that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing Salem Hills in particular is lacking above, anything else. You can talk about size, which is a big problem, especially for them tonight. But, I mean, they do have the athleticism, but when you can't make up for that size difference, it really does throw a wrench into everything. But once again, let's throw our sponsors up there one more time, give them one more shout out as we take a look at them. Two Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Thank you for being sponsors here for us on Spanish Fork 17. Again, we have a game Friday night, January 19th. It'll be here at La Hacienda as the Dons will take on the Wasps of Wasatch High School. Hopefully, same kind of momentum, same kind of energy for that contest, because I think if the Dons play that way, they can be a problem for a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, they're a gritty team, and I think it'd be a real mistake for any team to come into their house here in La Hacienda and say we're going to take it from you easy. I mean, they got Cedar Valley on the road, and kind of depending on what the outcome is there, will have a lot to say about how they play Wasatch, but obviously they're a tough team to play here at home.
Yeah, and the Dons really showed a lot of grit, made the season exciting again. It was ugly. Mm-hmm. We're having fun now once again. Thank you, John Henstra, for sitting in for Chris Hurst tonight. Excellent job, and I appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Oh, thanks. It's been fun.
Yeah, the final once again here from La Hacienda, the Spanish Fork Dons 83, Salem Hills Skyhawks 73. I'm Alan Huff, along with John Henstra, and from everybody from Spanish Fork 17, we thank you so much and say so long once again from La Hacienda, home of the Dons.